始めたばっかりで、私言うんですけど、どんどんいらなくなる。Japanese people are thinking that they are part of the nature, part of the world. So that's why in words, they don't need to say I or me, you know? For example, like if Americans really did prohibit speaking Japanese and it was only English there, we would never know how great their language and the people are. It was so meaningful that Georgia and Japan, both of them tried to save their language and save it until today.
So if you lost your language, it means you lose your identity, your personality, your character, your homeland, your beliefs, everything what is meant to be for you. So it is a very sensitive topic.
こんにちは皆さん、テリチャンネルのテリです。
ナノです。
いつも動画を見てくれてありがとう。今日はですね、ナノが勉強を始まった日本語について話したいと思います。日本語の勉強はどうですか？
もう3ヶ月勉強しています。毎日勉強しています。けど、とても大変です。難しいです。でも頑張っています。
そうです。
It takes so much courage to be honest to speak in Japanese.
ナノチャンネルのコメントで私も読みました。そしてナノの日本語はどんどん上手くなっています。日本語は世界中で本当に大人気ですね。私の周りでもいろんな人が日本語を勉強しています。最初はアニメからだったかもしれないんですけど、今はなんかこんなジョージアみたいな小さい国でも服屋さんにいたらなんか日本語で書いているT シャツもたくさん売ってますよ。ちょっと変な日本語なんですけど売ってます前は漢字の方が人気だったんですけど、最近はやっぱりひらがなとかカタカナの方が人気になってるみたいです。じゃあ今日はラシア語、英語、そしてジョージア語、私と姉さんがこの3つの言語で喋ることできます。そして外国人から見た日本語のやばさについて話したいと思います。日本語は確かにとても礼儀正しいな言語ですね。たくさん丁寧な言葉があるから勉強するときにはなんか快適ですよ。私にとって。
This is, I think, one of the amazing part of Japanese language. And second thing is, this is the hardest part of the Japanese language because exactly now I'm in the process to learn like these polite versions of words and some formal versions, and it's a lot. It's very interesting when you are learning Japanese as a new language in our age. Yeah. Because like you can compare it to any other, and also your life experience about languages. In English, for example, if you wanna be polite, just you say like you. And in Georgian we have like queen. We add queen, or we add some character to, and it's all. Yes. And like in Japanese, it's whole sentences is changed. It's wonderful, of course, but sometimes it makes me crazy because I have to remember all this stuff.
特になんか日本語で私の大好きなポイントは、人と喋るときには本当に様々な言葉がありますよ。例えば、さん、ちゃん、くん、さま。とてもいいですよ。
Yeah, that's so unique language for me, Japanese. With san, kun, chan, sama, you can understand even what kind of relationship is there between people. It really defines the characters of Japanese people, which is so respectful.
例えば他の言葉、いただきますとかお疲れ様はただの挨拶の言葉じゃなくて、その言葉の後ろにはとても深い意味がありますよ。This word is very respect and politeness inside, you know.
This word is
難しいよ to explain.
This word is what you teach me, and after this I'm teaching to every one of my friends because I'm in love with this kind of words.
特になんかお疲れ様は私たちはいろんなアニメとか日本語の映画は見たことあるから、なんか直接トランスレーションはないですよね。はい。なんか they are translating good work or thank you for your hard work だけど、なんかこの言葉の意味はもっと深いですよ。ちょっと今ナノとビデオ撮り終わって思い出していましたんですけど、例えば日本語で私を言う言葉もいっぱいありますよね。私、俺、僕、俺様、いろいろあります。そして with that words also you can understand about what kind of character this person is. なんかを言う前に私って言ったら、私はとても優しいな気分がしますよね。でももしかして誰かが でね、ひなたが言ったよ、俺様って言ったらめっちゃ強そうとか偉そうな人やな。
俺様欲しい。
ひなたはなんかバイキンマンのビデオから思い出したよ。俺様も欲しいってね。自分の呼び方だけでもどんなキャラクターですかわかりやすいですね。例えば僕のヒルアカデミアからなんか爆語はいつも俺様って言ってるんですけど、デクもいつも優しくで僕って言いますよね。
行きましょう。またね。
言霊について何か知ってますか？
知らない。
ちょっと今説明するよ。言霊 is a word of spirit. In ancient time, Japanese had belief that words had a kind of spirit. For example, if you would use and say good words many times, something positive would happen to you. And if you'd say bad words, bad things would happen to you.
Really?
Yes.
This is so deep.
For example, in old time, some villages, when rain was not coming for a very long time, people were starting to use very positive words. For example, today very big rain will come, and it happened. And even during the war also, soldiers were using some positive words that they would be very big enemy, and it happened like that. And after this belief...
We will go in Japan soon. We will go in Japan soon.
それは日本語で言わないといけない。So after that, this belief got more stronger and stronger. そして私もそれをとても信じています。
I got some connections in my mind because nowadays it is very popular as a science, like affirmations about like saying this positive stuff every day, and it will come through. If you think deep, it's the same thing, but as it seems, Japanese we're doing this from very long time ago. You know?
It's kind of like when I started YouTube. 日本に行きたいってとっても言って、やっぱり行くことできました。オノマトペって聞いたことありますか？
Of course.
例えば
For example, when Hinata is doing like byon byon, which is not a word, but you can really feel with her expression what she's trying to say.
それはこのオノマトペの意味もそれですよ。なんか例えば日本語を全然知らない人にもいたらイメージでもっと簡単ですよ。例えばぴょんぴょんするとか、ひなたもいろいろしてるよ。まずはぴょんぴょんってずっとジャンプするときはぴょんぴょんって言ってるし、あとキラキラキラキラもなんか考えるとやっぱりキラキラですよね。これ私にとって日本語のとても大好きなポイントです。ワクワク。
ワクワク、I remember.
はい。
I was saying in Japan a lot.
ペロペロ。なんかロリポップペロペロ。この全部はひなたもめっちゃ使っています。
Yeah, every day.
Some words what they have このオノマトペでトランスレートは全くできないんですよ。But it's very meaningful when you learn Japanese, this kind of things, and I love it because they can describe anything with this kind of words. ベタベタ、例えばなんかひなたもロリポップ食べた後はでベタベタしてる、綺麗にするって言ってるよいつも。
I think it makes this language very creative, right?
Yes. なのがお腹空いた時に一番知ってるオノマトペわかるよね。
なんかペコペコ。
ペコペコ。ペコペコもオノマトペです。
As you know, 皆さん I talk about video there. Peko Peko is the name of restaurant and the owner is Japanese. At first I could not understand this word, what did it mean, but even in the comments you explained. I'm so grateful, and it's very catchy and very easy to remember, very fun.
だから子供ももっと簡単に勉強することできるし、そして楽しいよ、こうやって勉強するの。私にとっては一番最初に調べたオノマトペはキラキラだったと思います。
キラキラめっちゃいいから。
確かになんかお腹すいたって言ったより、ペコペコの方が可愛いですよね。お腹ペコペコ。俳句は皆さんとても素敵なものですね。
In general, I am a person of a feeling. I am so into art, into poetry, into reading some books, and I think Japan has a great thing for this, which is haiku. The mostly why I love haiku is that there is not a lot of sentences. Even like you can say that there is a few sentences, but after reading this, in your mind there is a whole story. It makes you full with a huge emotions, and I've never felt with something another that kind of feeling. So what I feel through haiku, and with haiku there is sometimes some kind of paintings, and if you read this haiku and look at these paintings at the same time, my heart just stops beating.
Flutter.
My words are not enough to express how wonderful haiku is. I don't think that I am smart enough for now to express my feelings toward this.
確かに俳句はこんなちっちゃい言葉でもすごくでっかい意味があるからとても素敵です。それのなんか想像することもとても気持ちいい、読むことも気持ちいいです。
Like I even in Georgian, it's really difficult for me to express what I feel after reading haiku, and this is one of my favorite things to read. Really, something like fireworks is happening, and sometimes I feel so much pain for haiku or so much joy from haiku that I can't stay on one place. You know, I want to do something. I want to express as much as possible.
例えば私たちはジョージア語のアルファベットを使っていますね。文字だけ使っている。英語にも英語の文字だけありますけど、日本語はカタカナも使ってひらがなも漢字も全部組み合わせて、それを見るだけでも素敵だし、あとなんかこの全部集まって17のなんかカタカナひらがな漢字でいろんな表現ができますから、それはもっと素晴らしいですね。17文字だけでなんか you can speak like a history of something, you know?
Man, this is crazy, really. Like this video really will not be enough if we talk about this.
だから私たちはめっちゃ考えてたよ。でもやっぱり17のレターで私たちの言語で俳句を作るのはちょっとできないですよ。
If we add some more letters, maybe we can.
それでもちろんできるけど、確かに17だけで we can't fit inside, you know? Even 英語でもそうだと思う。漢字ですね。なんか私にとって漢字の勉強はとても楽しいです。漢字の書くことはとても大好きです。なぜならその漢字の作る方にも意味がありますよ。どうやってその漢字が作られた。例えば火の漢字は It's like they watched fire. 火の漢字は It kind of looks like fire とか、私たちも漢字を勉強するときに本に書いてあるよ。その漢字はどこから来ました。例えば川の漢字はイラストもあって本当に川に似てるからこの山も山に似てるしなんか月も月に似てるしはい、雨もそうです。全部そうです。その漢字は一つだったよね。全部言ったのは。でも、二つの漢字を組み合わせて、他の漢字になってる。そしてその漢字も見ると、もっとわかりやすくなってるよ、私にとっても。例えば、一つの木の漢字は木でしょ。でも、その漢字は、二つにしたら、ウードですよ、林。でも、三つにしたら、森ですよ。はい。もし木が4つになったら何の感じになるのかな。それはまだあるかどうかわからないし、意味もわからない。多分ね。10回になるのかな、それにしたら。
It sounds so easy from you, but it's not. Still.
This everything is so logical and this is why I love it so much. 例えば私の好きな漢字は好きですよ。好きは2つの漢字でできている1つの漢字です。女の子と子供。なぜなら女の子が子供好きだから好きになってるよ。ナノの好きな漢字は何ですか？
He. Because it was first what I learned.
It is very easy. 全部の漢字は it's very logical だから、例えば男の漢字もそうですよ。なんか力の漢字入っているライスフェルト力の漢字入っているからなんか強い。
強い。こ
の全部で深く考えると勉強も楽しくなるし、もっとちょっと簡単になると思います。読み方はいろいろあるから5ぐらいもありますけど、それがちょっと大変ですよ。やっぱり大変もちろん。そして似てる漢字もいっぱいありますけど、やっぱり私は漢字の勉強も大好きです。なんか多分私は全部の漢字で200漢字ぐらいはしてると思います。多分200以上だと思うよ。最近まだ勉強したから。
私は50漢字。
大丈夫。あなたは最近始まったからもっと勉強するよ。日本語はなんか言葉でジェンダーがないからすごく勉強やすいです。
This is a very good point. I can't complain about this because even in Georgian we don't have a gender. In Russian it's more difficult. Like in Russian there is a specific word which you should identify gender with the ending of a word.
Yes.
If you're talking about book, about table, about chair, about door, it depends on what kind of ending it has. and with it you defined the gender, like what kind of word to use with it, like on, ana. It is so confusing.
Yes, of course.
And I'm really thankful that in Japanese, at least I don't have to study this, right, about the gender. It's just a simple. Even though I complain a lot about learning Japanese, if you have like deep thoughts about this, you will realize how practical, how logical, how interesting, how creative language is Japanese.
私は日本語を勉強始まった前に自分で YouTube からドイツ語を勉強してた。そしてスパニッシュ語もそうですよ。なんかスパニッシュとかドイツ語にもジェンダーがありますよ。Das, this, there. Some even computer might be woman and the chair might be a man. These kind of things, you know.
So many things are happening already in my mind and I can't distinguish already. That's why I'm worried to talk in Japanese. At first, other languages, what I know, it comes first. And I become very shy to even speak up in Japanese.
There is one more good point in Japanese, and you are still learning now, so I will tell you. For example, in English, in Europe countries, almost every language starts with I or you, you know, because you are doing something or I am doing something.
Right.
And in European countries, it's kind of they are thinking that first it was them, and that's why the world exists. But in Japanese, 始めたばっかりで私言うんですけど、どんいらなくなる。Japanese people are thinking that they are part of the nature, part of the world. So that's why in words they don't need to say I or me, you know. For example, in English, when you want to say that I'm going to market, you are saying I am going to market, right? But in Japanese, when you are saying 買い物に行ってきます、私はいらない。もちろん行っても大丈夫ですけど、いらないよ。
This is the point which I can't get used to until now, you know. At first I didn't know why was the reason that Japanese doesn't use watashi wa. When I talk in Japanese, I always like 私はなのです、私はlike always I'm using it. Oh, and I'm realizing that something is not natural because like I've heard from a lot of Japanese people how they talk and something is unnatural from my talking, like from my side, and just now I realized it's watashi.
Yes, 最初は私はそうだったよ。ずっと私使ってたけど、多分皆さんも気づいたと思うよ。最近はそんなに使わない。These things, I love it because language of the Japanese people is describing how they are. It's kind of their modesty in their language. They are thinking about part of nature and part of world. This makes me very warm, to be honest, you know?
Me too.
Because it is very big modesty to think like that. So 私がないのは it describes that Japanese people has very small ego. No, they are not egoist.
Yeah, they are so humble.
ということで私たちは日本語のやばさについて話しました。Do you know that in Japan, after World War II, Americans were thinking to prohibit speaking Japanese. So they would use English, also their American English. でこういう歴史があったけど、日本人は自分の言語はなんとか守った。With this, I want to say that, can you imagine like if Americans really did prohibit speaking Japanese and it was only English there, we would never know how great their language and the people are, you know, because language is really creating character.
Of course.
I'm very happy that they protect the language. Because I would not be able to learn such a beautiful language now.
You know the saying, how many languages you know, that many person you are.
Yes,
so
yes, we are saying
we are learning Japanese, so somehow we are becoming part of Japanese character.
これで皆さんにも言いたいことはあります。During we were part of the Soviet Union, Russia was trying so hard to take Georgian language from us. Even like some schools and universities were studying with Russian language, and even movies were on the Russian language. But Georgians tried so hard to save our language also. And here we are today. We have our own language and alphabet, and it's very sad that even today we are trying to protect our country and language again.
There is nothing new for Georgians, like we're from the very beginning we are fighting for our land to protect, for our language and religion and people to save and to survive from this kind of things. Even today society is fighting for this. Wish the peace for the Japan and Georgia and for all the world.
Yes.
It's the main.
And it was so meaningful that Georgia and Japan, both of them tried to save their language and save it until today.
So if you lost your language, it means you lose your identity,
Kind
your
of.
personality, your character, your homeland, your beliefs, everything what is meant to be for you. So it is a very sensitive topic. I appreciate you and respect you, my Japanese people, so much.
ということで今日のビデオはここまでです。最後まで見てくれてありがとう。次のビデオでお会いしましょう。またねー。